American manufacturers have built some of the most ambitious performance cars in history, and then they disappeared. Bankruptcies, bad timing, dealer incompetence, these companies built legitimate supercars that challenged Ferrari and Porsche, and nobody remembers they existed. But here's the thing, we're still doing it. There are American performance car manufacturers operating right now that you've probably never heard of. And if we keep ignoring them, they'll end up on a list just like this one in 20 years. Today, we're talking about the American performance cars that time forgot and the ones we're forgetting right now. Let's get into it. Car 1. Mosler MT900. Let's start with a car that actually beat Porsche at their own game, and I'm willing to bet most of you have never heard of it. The Mosler MT900 came out of Riviera Beach, Florida in the early 2000s, and it was legitimately fast. We're talking 0-60 in 3.1 seconds, a top speed over 180 miles per hour, and a chassis that was so well engineered it actually competed and won in professional racing. In 2003, a Mosler MT900 took a class victory at the 24 Hours of Daytona, beating factory-backed Porsches and Ferraris. This wasn't some amateur operation, this was a small American manufacturer going head-to-head with the biggest names in motorsport and winning. The MT900 used various V8 engine configurations including supercharged and naturally aspirated versions, making anywhere from 350 to over 600 horsepower depending on setup. The car weighed just 2,400 pounds thanks to extensive carbon fiber construction, giving it a power-to-weight ratio that rivaled anything Europe was building at the time. So why don't you know about it? Because Mosler Automotive folded in 2013. The company ran out of funding, production stopped, and one of the most capable American sports cars ever built just disappeared from the conversation. Saleen S7. Here's a question. What was the first American mid-engine supercar? If you said the C8 Corvette, you'd be wrong. The answer is the Saleen S7, and it came out in 2002, decades before Chevy finally figured it out. Steve Saleen, known for his modified Mustangs, decided to build an entirely original supercar from the ground up. The S7 featured a custom-built 7.0-liter V8, making 550 horsepower in naturally aspirated form, or 750 horsepower in the later twin-turbo version. The twin-turbo S7 could hit 60 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds and had a claimed top speed of 248 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest production cars in the world at the time. This wasn't a kit car or a modified Corvette. This was a fully engineered, from-scratch American supercar that competed directly with the Ford GT, Ferrari Enzo, and Porsche Carrera GT. The S7 even had a successful racing career. Modified versions competed at Le Mans, won races in the American Le Mans Series, and proved that American engineering could absolutely hang with European exotics on the world stage. But today, most people under 40 have no idea the Saleen S7 exists. It came out at the wrong time, production numbers were low, and Saleen as a company has been through multiple ownership changes and financial troubles. The S7 has been almost completely forgotten, despite being one of the most significant American performance cars ever built. Car 3. Vector W8. Now, let's talk about one of the most ambitious and most absurd American supercar projects ever attempted. The Vector W8 was supposed to be America's answer to Lamborghini. Founded in Los Angeles in the late 1980s by Gerald Wiegert, Vector promised a twin-turbocharged supercar that would hit 242 miles per hour and redefine what American performance meant. On paper, it was incredible. A 6.0-liter twin-turbo V8 making 625 horsepower, a futuristic fighter jet-inspired interior with toggle switches and aircraft-style controls, and styling that looked like it came from a science fiction movie. But here's where things get interesting. That transmission? It was a 3-speed automatic borrowed from the Oldsmobile Toronado. Yes, you read that right. Vector claimed their supercar would hit 242 miles per hour, and they put a 3-speed slush box from a front-wheel drive Oldsmobile in it. The reality was harsh. Only 17 customer cars were ever delivered before the company filed for bankruptcy in 1993. The promised top speed was never verified, the production quality was inconsistent, and the whole operation was plagued by lawsuits, hostile takeovers, and drama that would make a Hollywood movie look tame. Gerald Wiegert's company was eventually taken over by Megatech, an Indonesian company which tried to revive the brand with the Vector M12, essentially a rebodied Lamborghini Diablo. That didn't work either. Vector attempted another comeback in 2007, then again in 2017, but nothing ever materialized. The Vector W8 represents everything ambitious and flawed about American automotive dreams: big promises, wild engineering, and ultimately, failure. And if you think this story is wild, we're only skimming the surface here. Let me know if you'd like a full deep dive on the Vector saga in the future. But Vector wasn't the only American performance car that disappeared. Some actually made it to production, sold thousands of units, and still got forgotten. Pontiac G8 GXP. The Pontiac G8 GXP is proof that even when you do everything right, bad timing can kill you. In 2009, Pontiac brought over the Holden Commodore from Australia and rebadged it as the G8. The GXP trim was the performance version, a 415 horsepower LS358, rear-wheel drive 6-speed manual transmission, and proper sedan proportions that could actually fit a family. This was everything American performance sedan enthusiasts had been asking for. It was practical, powerful, reasonably priced at around $38,000, and it could run low 13 seconds in the quarter mile right off the showroom floor. Journalists loved it, enthusiasts loved it. And then GM killed Pontiac entirely as part of their 2009 bankruptcy restructuring. The G8 GXP was only sold for one model year. Only 1,829 were ever built. And just like that, one of the best performance sedans America ever produced was gone. Today, clean examples of the G8 GXP are getting harder to find, and prices are starting to climb as people realize what was lost. But for most car buyers, the G8 GXP is just a footnote, a car that came and went so fast that it barely registered. If you owned a G8 GXP or remember when these came out, let me know in the comments what you thought of them. Car 5. Cadillac CTS-V Sport Wagon. Let's talk about the ultimate grocery getter that nobody bought. The second-generation Cadillac CTS-V was already an insane car. A supercharged 6.2-liter LSA V8 making 556 horsepower in a luxury sedan. But Cadillac took it one step further and offered it as a wagon. Think about that for a second. A family wagon with 556 horsepower, a manual transmission option, Brembo brakes, magnetic ride suspension, and 0-60 in under 4 seconds. You could take the kids to school in the morning and run low 12 at the drag strip in the afternoon. This should have been a slam dunk. European manufacturers had been selling high-performance wagons for years. The Audi RS6 Avant, the Mercedes E63 AMG wagon, the BMW M5 Touring. American enthusiasts had been begging for something like this, and Cadillac actually built it. From 2011 to 2014, you could walk into a Cadillac dealer and order a 556 horsepower supercharged V8 wagon with a manual transmission. But almost nobody did. Over those 4 years, Cadillac sold approximately 1,800 CTS-V sport wagons total. For context, they sold over 12,000 sedan versions in the same time frame. Why didn't it sell? The wagon stigma was too strong. Dealers didn't know how to market it, and the people who wanted a performance wagon were already buying European. So one of the most capable and practical performance vehicles ever built in America just quietly disappeared after 4 years. Today, used CTS-V wagons command a premium over the sedan, as enthusiasts finally realize what they missed. But it's too late. Cadillac discontinued it, and we'll probably never see anything like it again. So there you have it. 5 American performance cars that disappeared into history, and 3 that are being built right now that most people have never heard of. The pattern is clear. We keep building incredible machines in America. We keep pushing boundaries, challenging European dominance, doing things nobody else is willing to do. And then we just forget they exist. So which one surprised you the most? Have you ever seen any of these cars in person? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into obscure automotive history, hit that subscribe button because there are a lot more stories like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.